not affected by the, what was it, a litre? Was it about a litre of chalk we put down the bottom? So yeah, I lost my perp again because the perlite doesn't retain the water to become, stay anaerobic, and of course the charcoal was on the top. Because we're learning that, this one didn't do too well either. Well, no polystyrene, charcoal's knocked down the bottom, the organics on the top should be down the bottom or something. So there you go. I tried this thing with the pine needles. We might want to put it back and see if we actually got any greying. No, the sand's not grey. So there you go, fellas. Sand's not grey. So I just want to know, see, it's organic, of course, so the idea is now all the organics should be down the bottom, should be anaerobic. I want Mobile, since I've done this work, I would like him to do work on his end, since he's more into the pine needles than I am. I want him to do it where he puts pine needles down the bottom and just has sand on top sort of thing. And he might want to play around with the polystyrene, he might want to play around with charcoal. As I said, I've done the back-breaking, eye-opening work that basically, from the bushfire land or nation in the world with the most CPs, the trick seems to be with charcoal, you basically your biochar or your basis for your terra preta, is it has to be under the soil, has to be consistently damp or wet to be anaerobic. And as we learnt from these, when you do get it anaerobic, it only takes 9 days to really start to get going, 9 days, and then another 9 days to really... I've noticed though, this is a sort of orangey pinky red, this one here, as opposed with the one with the candle in, getting consistently darken out at the top and going to that nice red sort of colour. Still not so much down the bottom, so I'm still in two minds about adding paraffin stabbing paraffin candles into our soil, into our bag of beans or something like that. But I am setting up more containers to get some more data back. I've got another day or so to go on these ones over here, and hopefully they'll start pinking tomorrow or the next day after that. But because we are going into this cold weather, and with every 10 degrees drop in temperature you halve the reaction rate, every 10 degrees rise in temperature you double the reaction rate. So I've got the brand down the bottom. Whether that'll change anything, I don't know, but it did actually consistently put out more bubbles with having, as you can see, still lots of bubbles coming up, even though it's nearly 9 days tomorrow, sort of thing. So I've done all sorts of things. I've also done ones with newspaper cellulose down the bottom. Not so many bubbles, but we do get some bubbles, not as much and not as many as we do with. Let's put that in there properly. There we are. Not as many as you get with the brand down the bottom. I've done bark chips down the bottom. Yeah, bark chips down the bottom. So we'll see how that affects. With the phenolics of the bark chip. I've done bark chips without any charcoal. We'll see how that goes, and so on and so forth. We'll get the data back, and that's due to come back in the next few days. And I've set up a whole load of other bottles too, so it's just not coming back fast enough now, because as I said, we're getting into these dull days, temperature's dropping, the reaction rate is halving or whatever it is, but we are consistently slowly getting results back. But as I said, what I want to do is get it to this stage. This is the winner for this season. According to this, it's just a candle and an egg and polystyrene. I'm not sure if there was a lot of microfine charcoal particles in that, because that came from the original stock pots or thing that we managed to spot last season. The charcoal popcorn one. Again, it's the charcoal, not so much the popcorn, I would say. But popcorn is, of course, rich in zinc, and we did learn zinc does help to a certain extent, but I don't think the plants like the zinc. It's just solving a chemical cul-de-sac, I think. So anyway, so I've set some more up, and we'll see how we go. Set a whole load up, and we discover this sort of gelb stuff. I don't know if you can see if we can get it into the sun, if there is some sun. It's, you know, slowly changing, getting more green spots there, blah blah blah. Not as pretty as it was a couple of days, you know, a week or so ago. But there's the Gelbstoff up the top. You might want to look that up. But yeah. So now we've actually got green spots in amongst the pinky red. So they obviously can grow together. What keeps it red and what makes it green? You know, that's the question that we want to know. If we can work it out. And I've got others with Gelbstoff on the top and pink with no green, as far as I can tell. Yeah, no green whatsoever at the moment. So there's a difference there for you. Okay. And I've set up another one here to see if I can actually get some grey sand, and then we'll see if it actually stays grey. So, yeah. Anyway, that's about it for this little talkie. Barely 3 more minutes on the thing. Yeah, that's about it, I think. I can't think of much else to say, but so it's basically over and out, I think. So basically, we moved a mountain this season. Basically, charcoal is very important, but it has to be anaerobic. You want polystyrene rather than perlite, unless you gelify your perlite. Not all grey soils are grey soils. Basically, it may have something to do with phenolic bark chips and you know, sort of all this brown material like your coir, your peat, anything organic and brown, being saline sort of thing. Basically, it's going to be iron sulfide, I would suggest, because you have all the problems with H2S gas, and apparently H2S gas is inhibitory to root hair production. No root hairs, no mycorrhizal interrelationship, no growth. Basically, if you've got a mycorrhizal and an ectotrophic mycorrhizal relationship, you know, a macroscopic ones you can see with your eyes. If you see a root ensheathed with a fungus, it's a fungus root, and therefore by definition you have a mycorrhizal relationship. Do you get that? If you're the king of Prussia, do you get that? Yes. I mean, that's a very important salient point. If you can actually see a fungal sheath on a root, you have a fungus root, you have a mycorrhizal. No ifs or buts. That's the original definition. No ifs or buts. You do. So if you find a CP that has a root run that's ensheathed by a fungus all the way down its roots, I think you have a fungus root, you have a mycorrhizal relationship. No ifs or buts, you know. No sort of umming or ahhing. You do actually have. CPs are mycorrhizal, you know. They're ectotrophic, you know. Yeah, most people suspect they're going to be endotrophic. Yeah, once you have to look for with a microscope. But if you see an ensheathed root, it's macroscopic, it's ectotrophic, it's a fungus root, it's a mycorrhiza. Do you get it? I don't think some people out there get that. So if you've got like a Cape Sundew with an ensheathed root, you might want to look at that up on the near. You have a Cephalotus or a Dionaea with an ensheathed root. You all three separate. Different genera, probably different families, depending how they define them these days. Probably very distantly related families, like Cephalotus. Doesn't it have its own? It's gone beyond the family. It's got its own. I've forgotten the name of it now. Whatever the grouping is. So it's, you know, very ancient. We have probably one of the most ancient pitcher plants in the world here in southern Oz, southern Adamantland. But, well, that's the spiel for today, fellas. Tune in another